What's happening, family? Adrian back. Hey, listen, this one gonna sting a little bit. Like, this one gonna deal with our own personal accountability in the situation. So, I have a degree in criminal justice, y'all, right? And one of the terms that we use when I was studying criminal justice was ignorance is no defense, or basically ignorance is no excuse. So basically meaning, like back in the day, people used to go and they used to go to court and they used to be like, well, I didn't know no better. I didn't know that that was the law. I didn't know that that was the law. And you know what I'm saying? And, so basically over time, they started implementing the laws and started changing the laws to where you could no longer use ignorance as your excuse. You know what I'm saying? And so if those are the laws of the land that we live by now, why don't we think that those same laws apply to the spiritual realm? You know what I'm saying? Like, ignorance is no excuse to, go against God's will. You know what I'm saying? And so all of us that was caught up with the narcissist, like, we have to sit back and admit that we was caught up with the narcissist basically in a lot of our situations. I mean, especially if we're in, now some of us, have grown up with narcissistic parents and things like that. That's a little bit different, but at the same time, it's like most of us that especially have been in intimate situations with the narcissist, we were caught outside of the will of God. You know what I'm saying? We was fornicating, we was living foul, we was living, we was living just as foul as the narcissist. We was able to get caught by the narcissist because they caught us on that same vibration. We was right there and we was, enjoying that love bomb, and we was enjoying, fornicating and all of that kind of stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, I mean, it's part of life. We didn't think that we were doing anything wrong when we did it. We were seeking love, we were seeking companionship, we were seeking friendship, just a stable relationship, all of that kind of stuff. And those are the things that we, I guess, are supposed to seek in God first. And that's, I can't say I guess, like, that's what I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have never gone into a relationship and asked God to send me the person that's for me from him. You know what I'm saying? I always accepted what came, wherever I met him at, whether I met him at work, whether I met him, in the club or the bar, or, wherever I met him at, it was like, that's where, that's where the tone was set. You know what I'm saying? So if I met him at work, we set that tone of that, like, work relationship, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of stayed there, never progressed, never went nowhere. And I was kind of wondering why a lot of these relationships and things that I was in was never progressing to the places that I know that they could have, because this person seemed like a good person and I know I'm a good person. So it's like, why aren't these things working out in the way that, that they should? And basically it's because we was living out of order. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of us, like, how many of y'all ask God to send that person to you? You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all ask God if this was the person for you, or if this person was, sent by you or sent to you from him? You know what I'm saying? Like, most of us jumped into these situations and we thought, like, okay, this person looked good, they seem pretty cool on paper. Like, when you jot down all of your boxes of things that you're looking for in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how we mess up, because a lot of us put out there what we're looking for in a relationship, and to a user, to a player, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna sit back and look at that and be like, okay, this person wants somebody that's stable and consistent and all of that. And now they got the recipe. Now they know exactly, the blend to bring into your situation. And when they bring that into your situation, they can be like, okay, I got them right where I want them, or I got her right where I want them, because I have checked all of the boxes that they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have brought to them what they have put out in the public that they're looking for. So they're looking for, like, okay, you know, like y'all go on these dating websites, you know what I'm saying? And I've done it too, don't get me wrong. Like, you go on the dating websites and you do the whole profile and all of that kind of stuff, and you tell everything about yourself. And then while you telling all of these things about yourself, now that gives them the recipe to your heart, you know what I'm saying? That gives anybody the recipe to say, oh, okay, well, he's looking for somebody like this, or she's looking for somebody that fits this mold right here, this description right here, you know what I'm saying? So that gives them the opportunity and the upper hand to know exactly what it is that you're looking for. So you kind of gotta, you know, stop putting all your personal business online, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. But, you know, this is about self-awareness and self-accountability. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest lesson that I learned in all of this. Like, taking my own self and taking the lessons that I learned out of the situation is the biggest part of my own personal healing journey. And it's the biggest part that I want to kind of express to you guys, that you're not going to get past this until you accept the fact that you did some wrong too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way of getting past somebody abusing you, you know, unless you accept the fact that you allowed it. You know what I'm saying? And I know for a long time I wanted to fight the fact that, you know, I allowed this to happen to me, and I allowed, you know, and I didn't know no better, you know what I'm saying? I was just like a lot of y'all. I didn't know MPD existed. I didn't know a lot of these, you know, a lot of their traits. I didn't know a lot of the things that was going to come behind just trying to have a regular relationship with somebody. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I was totally in the dark about that. But what I can say is, I grew up in the church. I grew up knowing that, you know, fornication was wrong. And I grew up knowing, you know, that, you know, as much as we try to normalize certain things in the world, that certain things we're just not living by God's standards. You know what I'm saying? Like, and as chosen ones and as people that are like in that 144,000, like they say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that we are set to a set of different standards, you know what I'm saying? And we're set apart from the world. And because we're set apart from the world, we're judged to a different, we're judged to a different standard. And that's why a lot of our life is like, it seems like we can't get away with nothing. You know what I'm saying? It seems like every little thing that we do, you know what I'm saying, we get caught up. It's like chosen ones, we got that thing with us, like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to us. Like, that type of thing. Like, if something crazy, if something wild is gonna happen, it's gonna happen to us. That, like, and I know a lot of y'all can relate with that, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is, man, because we just set apart. We are held to a higher standard. It's not, and it's written to be, it's like, it's meant to be that way, you know what I'm saying? We are part of his, of God's army, and he's preparing us for whatever assignment that we have. Like, I had no idea that I was gonna be here talking to y'all on, you know, YouTube, or just talking in social, you know, on social media in general. Like, this is so far against what I've always stood for. I've always been silent. I've always, you know, took things on the, I've never expressed myself in a way that I have. Like, this is something. Sorry about that, y'all. One of my neighbors had called. They saw me sitting out front of the house at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they was kind of like worried about me, so they was calling to check on me. But yeah, I just wanted to finish up the video real quick, just to let you guys know, like, our own personal accountability is the biggest part of our healing journey. Like, we have to accept the things that we did wrong, and we have to know that when we were living outside of God's will, you know, the Bible kind of tells us what's going to happen, you know what I'm saying, what's going to come to us. And we may not see it the way that, you know, it was going to happen with the narcissist. We may feel how we feel about, you know, how they did things, and rightfully so. Like, don't get me wrong, man, they were deceitful, you know what I'm saying? They live by the devil's laws. They live by, you know, the devil's code. So they did everything that the devil will bring into the situation. They lied. They used black magic. They used trickery. You know, they used sex. They used all of these different weapons against us, and we knew, I mean, don't get me wrong, and we was weak. You know what I'm saying? We enjoyed the love bomb. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoyed the love bomb. Like, I can't even sit here and lie and say I didn't enjoy feeling like, you know, somebody actually was paying attention to me, and somebody, you know, was putting me first for a chance. You know what I'm saying? And somebody was, you know, taking care of my own personal needs. It wasn't just the sex. Like, it was more so, like I said, shorty used to come around with, you know, all types of food and making sure I'm good during the day, and, you know, calling me the first thing in the morning. It was like that, just putting you first type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you can fall in love with that type of stuff, and you can, or you can fall in lust with that type of stuff. But when you are really 100 with yourself, and when you validating yourself, you don't need an outside or external person to validate you like that. Like, God's supposed to fill you up like that. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that we weren't seeking God as well, but we put those things in front of, like, we made those things bigger than God in our life. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mistakes that we made in the situation. So we got to own up to what we did in the situation. Like I said, ignorance is no defense. You know what I'm saying? Or ignorance is no excuse for you know, breaking the law, whatever the case may be. And that's for the laws of the land as well as the laws in the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to drop that on y'all, man. I know this is kind of tough to accept, because we got to accept our part in it. Like, we enjoyed that sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the reasons why I can't sit back and say, you know, like, that's one of the reasons why I can take care of my son and have no qualms about me being a good father or any of that kind of stuff. Like, it hurt me. Like, it was parts of it that did hurt me. Like, you gotta think about it, to have a child on the way, and to know that your child's mother was sleeping with other guys and all of that kind of stuff, and you don't even know that that baby is yours and all of that kind of stuff. And this is not the lifestyle that you saw this being. This is not the lifestyle you thought you was living. But now this is your reality, because you're dealing with somebody that has no empathy, that has no morals, no code about themselves or any of that kind of stuff. Like, that's the lifestyle that I had to live from the choices that I made from laying down with that woman. You know what I'm saying? So I got to take mine on the chin too. Like, I had to realize where I went wrong in the situation as well, for me to even be here to be able to talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not only that, I mean, it's a lot of other things that, it's a lot of other decisions that I made in my life that also could have contributed and played a part to all of this. Now, it's messed up that, you know, we've all been traumatized. We've all been through drama and trauma and all of that kind of stuff. And then the narcissist played on that even more. You know what I'm saying? But we have to realize and wake up to the fact that we contributed to it. And once we realize that, then we can kind of accept our part in it as well as their part in it, and we can get to the other side of the healing journey a little bit faster, man. So I just wanted to drop this video to let y'all know that I do read y'all comments. I see what y'all were saying in the comments as far as, like, you know, we have to accept our own accountability, man. Salute to the entire family, man. Shout out to Latoya. She was definitely one of the ones that had commented on, you know, taking your own personal accountability, man. So shout out to the whole family, man. Love you guys. I absolutely appreciate you guys for being here and rocking with the channel. I'm gonna have to chop this video up a little bit, because, like I said, my neighbor called in the middle of it just to make sure I was cool. But shout out to the family, man. Love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all in a minute. Salute to the family.